Hello my lovely people, you're welcome back to my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. So today we'll be making a trendy sleeve with cone. So I have prepared my basic sleeve. So this is just a basic long sleeve. So if you don't know how to cut your basic sleeve, please check my videos. Okay, I have made a video on how to cut a basic sleeve. So I say a very big welcome to you all, and if you're new to this channel, I am Vivian. On this channel I give you sewing tutorials, styles, and all about fashion. Yes, this channel is about fashion, and I also help to solve problems in fashion or in sewing. So today, like I said, we're making this trendy sleeve. So this is my basic sleeve and I'll be using this fabric. Okay, so I have prepared the bodies where we'll be joining the sleeve, and it is a corset like you can see. So this corset was made in our corset class. If you want to join our corset class, please contact the number on the screen. Just send WhatsApp message. Okay, you'll be responded to. So we'll go ahead to cut our fabric. So looking at my sleeves, it's a long sleeve and it measures, so I'll be leaving allowance for joining the sleeve to the bodies at this top, at least about 0.7 inches or inch. Then and this side as well, I'll be leaving about 1 inch because I'll be hemming it. Okay, so if you're going to turn with lining, you can leave half inch, but here I'll be folding, so 1 inch or 0.75 is still okay. So let's say altogether my sleeve is 22.5 inches. Okay, so I want to have about 6 cones here. So I'm just going to, like, it's not as if it's a standard formula for it, but I'm just like trying to figure out how the length of the cone. Okay, the length of the cone. So if this is 22.5 and I want 6 cones here, so that is to say 22.5 divided by 6, that will give me 3.75. So approximately 4 inches. And then when I look at it, 4 inches seem to be a bit small, so I'll make it 5. I'll make it 5 inches. Okay, so because we'll still be fixing the cone into each other, it's not as if it will just lay accordingly. So let's go with 5 inches for our cone. Then we'll cut out 6 inches because we need allowance for turning the main cone and the fabric and the lining. Okay, so I think let's go ahead and cut and everything will be clearer to you. So now I'll just place my fabric on fold as if I want to cut 180-degree flay. Okay, just like this. Okay, so you can also cut a 360-degree flay and cut it again into two. That is, you divide it to give you half circle flay. But let me just go ahead and cut it this way to minimize my fabric. Okay, so by the time you fold it, you measure. Like I said, we'll be cutting out 6 inches. So what I have here is enough, and by this side you also need 6 inches. Okay, so I don't want this part, though it might be at the edge, but I don't just want it. So now we have 6 inches, so I'll just reduce it a bit. Remember, I don't want to waste my fabric because this is the same fabric I'll be using for the main cone and the lining piece as well. So I have 6 inches there, so I'll just measure it up to this point. So let me mark it. So this is just okay. So by the time we stitch the lining piece, we'll be left with about 5.5. Okay, this is still okay. Now I'll go ahead and cut it out. So since I'll be using this very piece for the lining and the main fabric as well, I would cut 12 of it instead of 6. Okay, so I have one already. I'll go ahead and cut out 12, 11 more, so that it will be 12 because we'll be using the same fabric as the lining. So now I would go ahead and fold my fabric. Okay, So I'm just using this part of my fabric. I'll place it on fold like so, and place this so that by the time I cut out one, it will be two pieces there. So I just hope it is clear. So you can even fold your fabric into, four, so that when you cut, you have four. So just like that. So I'll go ahead and cut out the remaining ones. So I've cut out 12 pieces of this, okay? So this remaining six now, let's put this one aside. This remaining six, I'll iron my hard stay on it. Yes, so any hard stay you have. So this is my hard stay. I'll go ahead and then use this one, iron it on it, okay? So I'll show you the next thing to do. So you're ironing on the wrong side of the fabric. So I've ironed my hard stay to it, okay? So you can see it's now hard. And so the next thing to do is to use the lining piece. So for your lining, you can actually use different color lining. So I have this red satin here that I would have used, but since the main sleeve has a different color, if I was using the African print as the sleeve, perhaps using this satin would have been nice, but I don't want it to look odd or somehow. That's why I decided to use the African print as the lining for it, okay, so that it will just sit nicely to be beautiful when I place it on my sleeve. So now I'll just take my lining piece and I'll place it here. So good side facing each other, that is the right side facing each other. I'll place it like this and I'll go ahead and stitch the curved side. So this is the side I will stitch, okay? This curved side is the side I will stitch, leaving this side open. So that is exactly what I would do, just like this. So I'm just checking my fabric. This is the good side or the right side. I'll place it like this, okay? And like I said, I'm stitching the curved side. Okay, so I just hope you are seeing this clearly. Yes, so I'm stitching the curved side, leaving this side open. So let me do just that and show you the next thing to do, okay? So I've stitched it, as you can see, by half inch, okay? So I'll turn it, before turning, you notch it, okay? So I notched it so it can relax nicely after turning. So just go ahead, turn it this way. You can see what I have here. Then I'll go ahead and give it a very good press, okay? Going to iron it down, and that is what I've done to these ones. Okay, so let me iron this very one. So after ironing it, the next thing is to fold it this way and stitch, okay? So looking at it, you see that the side I have the collar stay or the hard stay is the good or the main fabric. Let me call it the main fabric, and this is the lining piece, okay? So I'll fold it in like this, the lining piece in. I'll fold it and I'll go ahead and stitch this side like this, okay? So this is the main fabric and the lining piece inside. I'll stitch this side. So now I am looking at my cone. I just feel it's a bit wide, so I'm going to like go in by 1 inch and stitch it, okay? So let's see, this is 1 inch. By the time I stitch it, this is what I should have. So by the time I stitch it, this is what I should have. So I'll go ahead and stitch all of them by 1 inch, okay? And we'll have our cone. So let me do just that and show you the next thing to do, okay? So I've sewn it like I said, okay? So I stitched by 1 inch here and I just went down. So this side is half inch. So there's no definite stand like formula or anything like that. It's just a matter of you looking at it and know what you want, okay? So it depends on what you want. You can try to even stitch by half inch if you want it very big. So just looking at it and then knowing what is beautiful. So after doing this, I'll just trim it like this. I'm just going to trim it, leaving a little bit so that I'm cutting it close to the seam. Okay, so that to just be neat like this. You can see what we have here. This is so beautiful, and in the inside we'll have it like this. So you see why I chose this side of the fabric to be inside, so it will be looking like this, while at the outside it will be looking like this. So now, and I have done that to all of my cones. So I have 6 cones here. So I'll get my sleeve now. So I've hemmed the lower part of my sleeve, so I'll just start placing it. So one thing, before you do that, you just have to fold your sleeve and get your midpoint. So this is just my basic sleeve, and with 1 inch seam allowance. So by the time I stitch it by 1 inch, this is just what we'll be having. Okay, so by the time you fold it, you're going to mark your midpoint, the center point of your sleeve. So let me just use a chalk that will be very obvious. So I'll mark the center of my sleeve. So I'm just marking it like this. Then when I open it up, I would connect it. So this is the center of my sleeve, and using my ruler now, I'll connect it. So I just hope you can see this. Okay, so this is it. So now I'll start fixing my cone. So at the upper part here, you're going to leave your allowance for joining the sleeve to the bodice. Okay, so you're going to just leave your allowance. So this side is okay for me. Now I'll go ahead and start fixing it. So I'll just place this one like this. So that point where we stitched should be down. Should be down like this. Okay, so I'll just hold it down with my pin. I'll just hold it down with pin before going ahead to stitch. So you can either use your sewing machine to stitch wherever you can stitch, but if it is difficult for you, you can just tack it with hand needle and thread. Okay, so I might be tacking mine with hand needle and thread. So this is how it's going to be. I place this one, then I'll get another one and just place it like this. So you just move in a little bit into the first one. Okay, so you first of all just arrange it and see how far it can go. So by the time you arrange it and you're not okay with what you have, you can make adjustments. Okay, so see how it's going. And like I said, I want one to be just at the end of my sleeve. So after arranging it like this, I see that what my sleeve can take now is 5. Okay, so I think this 5 is good as well. But if I really want the whole 6 to go in, then I'll have to push it in a little bit, which I don't know if that will be good. But if it's not good, I'll just make do with the 5 and use the remaining cone for something else. You know, in fashion, you have to be creative. Yes, that one will not be a waste. It can go into something else. It can, yes, actually go into something else. So pushing it in like this, the whole 6 can go, but I still need to look at it to see if it is beautiful this way. Okay, but I think giving it a little space is more beautiful. So I just want to carry you along and show you how I stitch it. Okay, so I'll take the first one. Like I said, I'll just give a little space from the top where I will stitch it to the bodice. Now I'm actually doing this because I'm using lace, and the bodice part as well, the yoke there is lace. Okay, so if not, I would have allowed it to go into the sleeve and the bodice. Okay, I would have allowed it to go inside, but it will not really look nice because this part will be showing inside the lace. So if I'm using, if I were to be using African print, perhaps I would have done it that way. So it's just a matter of choice. Just look at what looks beautiful and go ahead with it. Okay, so I'll just start here. So first of all, I'll tack it. So I'll just tack it here. So by the time I stitch this to the bodies, it will just be at the top there. So I hope you understand. So don't forget, this side we stitched will be facing down. So I'll just place it this way, and we want it to appear neat. So I will like hide the seam under. Then I would stitch. I will just like tack it down, okay, or stitch it down, whichever one. So it's what we have here. Now we'll just manipulate it into, so you can see what we have here. So now this is what I'll do. I'll just like push it in like this, and make sure you are following, that is the seam, your where you stitch should be at the center of your sleeve. Oh, just arrange it that way, okay. So I'll just push it this way, and I'll raise it like this. I'll open up the cone. So you can just do, and you can go as far as your machine can go, or as far as you can go, or as far as the cone can go. Then you would stitch, okay. So this is just it. It's not difficult. So you go ahead and stitch. So make sure this is at the center, that is, your seam is at the center of your sleeve. Okay, so after doing this, I'll get the next one and do the same thing. So let's take it this way. So I'll just place it how I want it to be. I would then tack it there, and follow the same process again. So let me cut out the thread for this one. I'll just go in a bit, a little bit. So I'll just repeat the same process. I'm done stitching it, and this is what we have. So 5 is what actually fits in the sleeve. Okay, so like I said, the remaining one will not be a waste. I'll definitely find what I would do with it. Okay, so I'm just cutting out the thread. Make sure you cut out your thread so that your work will look neat. Okay, so let's go to our table and see our sleeve, then we fix it on our bodies. Okay, so what I'll do right now is actually to close up my sleeve. So just make sure everything is looking neat inside. Okay, so now I would fold my sleeve and close it, okay, like this. That is, I'll just stitch by the seam allowance I used, then we'll see the final look of our work. So let me just close it up, then fix it to the bodies. So you can see I have closed up my sleeve. Okay, so I'll just turn it to the other side. I'll just bring it out like so, carefully. Okay, so you can see that my calculations were actually right. If I had sticked to that, the whole 6 cone would have gone in. Okay, so like I said earlier, you measure your sleeve, then the length of your sleeve divide by the number of cones you want to have. That will give you, idea of the length of your cone. Okay, length of your sleeve divide by number of cone you want to have. That will give you the length of cone, or give you idea of the length of your cone. So mine was around 4 inches, right? But I then went for 6 inches, which if I had stick to that 4 inches, no, I would have gotten the whole 6 here. But notwithstanding, the 5 is still okay. Yes, my baby want to take this one. Don't worry, daddy, I'm still using it. I'm going to find where to fix it. Okay, perhaps after joining my sleeve to the bodies, I might still, tag this one somewhere up there. Okay, so that is it. So this is my sleeve. I've closed it, and you can see this is so beautiful. I love the outcome, and the fabric as well is very, very beautiful. So I'll go ahead and stitch it to my corset top. So remember, I told you, if you want to join our corset class, just contact the number on the screen. Yes, this very corset was done in our corset class, and you can see the inside. Okay, so we had to turn out everything from the armhole here. So we're going to close it up when we stitch our sleeve, and see our modesty panel and our loops. So we also have the corsets with eyelets. Yes, all that was taught in the corset class. And we also have our cupped corset. So this one is Victorian corset. We also have our cupped corset, Edwardian corset, all that in the corset class. So contact the number on the screen via WhatsApp. Yes, WhatsApp only, do not call. Okay, and you'll be responded to. So just be patient when you send message. Okay, you definitely be responded to. Just send your message and be patient. Okay, so now I would go ahead and stitch my sleeve. So you can see my sleeve and my bodies all matching up. By the time I'm done stitching my sleeve, I might go ahead and, fix this one lastly here. So let's see how it goes. You see the final look of this beautiful sleeve and our corset. Okay, so this is the final look of our sleeve. You can see how beautiful it is. So I had to add that remaining cone at the top there. So I tacked it at the top. I just raised the first one. I stitched a bit, then tacked the other one. So we have the 6 all there now. So I hope you love this video. Please give it a like and share with your friends. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, hit on the subscribe button to be part of this wonderful family. It is absolutely free. And if you want to join our corset class, just contact the number on the screen via WhatsApp and you'll be responded to. Thank you. Remain blessed.